Welcome to my tube. I think I'm talking to you. I don't know. The interwebs are all so convoluted. It's a convoluted universe, but the interwebs are in there too. Ever looked at a spider web, man? They totally take on light. And light, that's where data and information is in, you know it? It's where data is received. It's all in light. Like when they have the picture of a person with an idea and a light bulb over their head. It's a frequency, man. Let's see. I did make a couple of little notes today of, I know that the video is going to be crap because the internet connectivity issues are just, if your message gets through, it gets through. And don't trip about the video, and what if I'm glitching and stuff like that. Just try and focus on the words that I'm saying here, folks. All this stuff, all the visual stuff is just bells and whistles, It's just aesthetics, right? Is that the right word, aesthetics? I made a couple notes. I was thinking about it because yesterday was Halloween. And, I just did my own little, I just danced for God. That's what I did for Halloween. With my positive intention of helping all these people that are really going to be hurt when they find out about how the world really is. It's so close, Today is 11/1. Today's 11/1, Ma. It's November 1st, 2020. So that's the time I was born. I was born at 11:01 a.m. So I always kind of liked this day because it kind of felt like me a little bit, just in a different part of the year. And, I've been thinking a lot about Halloween and what it represents to different people and what it represents to me and stuff like that. And what a lot of this stuff comes down to, and it's not just Halloween, but it's every day. It's all temptation. Temptation. We live in this world where people just have fallen into their temptations just to make them feel good. We all get tempted to do stuff. We all can be easily swayed. Shoot. How many times have I been easily swayed by a pretty face? Sure, I'll do whatever you want, pretty face. I'll do that, sure, pretty face. As long as you like me, pretty face. But hey, the only pretty face I got here around me today is my mom. So I stopped chasing the pretty face. And things got a lot better for me. I never liked to go fast much. Mom and I had a little photo montage in the backyard. This is really neat, Mom. This one has a light anomaly in it, too. I'm going to show some folks on the interwebs. Can you see that? It might be too dark. There we go. This ain't exactly as easy to do as it. She always tells me what a nice smile I have, and I always tell her it's because it's your smile. So, So when people like to, make fun of people about living with their mom and stuff like that, yeah. You guys don't know. You guys don't. Maybe they're jealous because they don't get to hang out with their mom, and their mom isn't as cool as mine. Maybe, I don't know. But see, they're the elders. They're the ones with the wisdoms, because they see, she's managed to live to almost be, we don't say it out loud, 70 years old, because her birthday's this month, on the 28th of this month. And see, she had a stroke when she was 38 years old, and at first they thought she was having an aneurysm, and they just called people because she's going to die, and they didn't, their bedside manner was terrible at RMC, And so we've been living together. We always been together. Like we were apart for a few years there when I was off in the Air Force and stuff like that. When I was off figuring it out and stuff. But we've been together since what, 2008? 8, so 12 years now, And we're both like, it's funny. It's like her body is like almost stronger than mine. It's like between the two of us we make up like a person, like between her memory and my memory we got like a whole memory. Between her appetite and my appetite, we eat enough for one person. We just compliment each other. I used to watch movies where the old spinster women, live together, live with their mom, and it just, I never identified like that, and it's just with that, it's just weird to see that, and it's just like, well, I live with my mom now. But I'm trying to find different ways to earn income and like, hang out with mom because I became a work from home daughter. Yeah, a couple years ago, and so I got all kinds of ways. I'm a photographer. I'm a freaking dude. You know what? It's cool is these are my sermons. These are my sermons. I don't have I think I have an ordainment from the universe of Church of Universe or something like that, online or something, because every year I get like an anniversary email that, congratulations, Reverend Margaret Hessick or whatever. But you know, I that's why I hate certifications and education and stuff like that, because if you go to a place and the place pays somebody to tell them that they're somebody, and you pay them, then they will in turn give you a piece of paper that tells you that you're somebody. You see what I mean? And it's all so wonky because none of these motherfuckers that are all paying each other and giving each other stuff and stuff, they don't have the life experience to match it up, right? Because I can't tell you how many professional psychologists, psychiatrists, professionals, right, that have lived their life and it's all been pretty much hunky-dory. But yet they go and they counsel people that have lived through traumatic events, never fucking having any of their own. But they read books written by people that write books, and they just read stories, and they don't, and it's like, people that go through shit, they're not gonna buy your bullshit. That's why they don't like psychologists and psychiatrists and stuff, because then they just want to give you a pill to sedate you, so you just ignore and deny all the emotional distress that you've had in life, right? And people like me and other people like Jessie Zaboter, she's way bigger fish. She's way bigger deal than I'd ever be. And some other people that are stepping forth into their truth and their story. I've been telling my stories for 3 years. It's just people don't want to receive them because people just want to deny things. And that's part 2 of the note that I made today, Ma, because this is a realization that I've had recently. See, it's not that I don't recognize my value. I fucking recognize my value and worth every day. I think I'm priceless, I'm worth a freaking $1 million 10 times over, I'm worth freaking PayPal freaking deposits of freaking a 10K, 15K, I'm worth all of that, okay? It's the people that don't recognize me as being worthy of that. I'm fucking just as good as Sadhguru with the shit I talk about and the life experience that I've had. But I ain't a dude with the long white beard, so what? I'll never have nothing in life, right? Because I don't look a kind of way. I'm never gonna fit into a paradigm. That's what Heyoka are about. Seeing me in others, I see myself in other people, and I get like really excited about other people. And then I want to know other people, and I want to engage with other people, and I want to talk with other people. Unfortunately, the circumstances, Mom verified, this is early when we were doing the pre-show, and I was telling her, making these notes, and I was saying these thoughts out loud and stuff like that. And she's like, Marge, this is stuff you've contended with your whole entire life. And I was like, yep. And I'm not the only one, Ma. I'm not the only one. That's why I gotta keep putting my voice out there for the underdog, Seeing me and others, and I appreciate them. I appreciate people because I see the goodness in other people's, and I know there's shadow aspects in all of us. I know I got them myself, and I recognize those things in other people too. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna not know them anymore. You know what I mean? Because everybody is given the opportunity to live more in spirit and less in ego. And there's been a time that I lived years and years in ego, right? Right? Because I was just being that productive member of society, doing what I was told, and just getting shit on every day. So my trouble with is I see and appreciate the things in other people, but then when people look at me and they see me and they talk to me, or they listen to my, you know, of they don't see the same qualities in me that I see them in them. And so then there's a deficit. Then we just don't get to that connection isn't made. Connections aren't made. You know, I've been hearing for a year about how spiritualists are supposed to be like combining with other spiritualists on their path. And I see it. I see it. I still can't get through. People don't want to work with me. I don't know why. I mean, I'm always like, I get little heart comments on freaking every place I go and I leave a comment, even if I just say thank you, Heyoka. But it's like, hey, you want to have a conversation with me? Want to have we can, because I got questions that people aren't asking, because I'm always, but people don't want to answer the questions, those questions. So there go I. You know, it's just so weird, man. I know I'm a valuable human being. It's other people that don't see the value in themselves that recognize that I'm a valuable human being, you know. The things that I know that I just, you know, and that's the thing is like staying and trying to stay in the right side. You can't be all egoic and so I deserve this, this, and this, and this. That is just a short trip to self-righteous anger, self-righteous or self. What am I thinking of? Justification, justified anger. Yeah. So anyway, your mom doesn't like you. My mom likes me. She didn't always like me. We had a rough. She's Sagittarius. I'm freaking Aries. We had a lot of freaking fuel fire, huh? We had a hard time figuring stuff out, but we never quit trying, right? You know? And you always taught me lessons. Like I'm always looking in life to catch the parent teaching the child lessons. Like, because you don't get to see that very often. Like a crucial point, you know, you just see people living life, but but every now and again I'll get a glimpse inside somebody's life where like a father is explaining something to his son as to why you don't do that, or how if you do this could happen, or whatever it is. I've always just been into like how people treat each other, you know, and I've had an expansive mind from a very young age too, and that happens to people that have had trauma and had disassociation. And the thing of it is I see so many. I managed to call all my aspects back. I got them all. I got every single one of my aspects that I came in with, except maybe the heterosexuality. Maybe if that is something that comes after or later, but I mean it's like the egg and the chicken and the egg. Even though I know the answer to that question because the dinosaurs were hatched in eggs long before chickens ever were, so the egg to me in my reality came before the chicken because the dinosaur egg. Yeah? Yeah. So when I was I've always had an expansive mind, and because of that, you know, and that's what I'm seeing is I see all these famous people and stuff is that they became and all these people of higher economic, you know, these people that have just so much without never doing nothing. You know, the whole world is just this huge imbalance because everybody's ego got so big and there's no spirit in that. There's no God in that. And I got away from God myself for years because I was living from ego. I was doing what everybody, you go to school, you go to college, you get a good job, you get a 401k, you do all this, you know, and I did all that. And do I still talk to any of those people that told me that I need to do all that or that I was doing all that with? No, they haven't freaking, you know, given a shit about me in years. You know, and these are the same people. I didn't know they didn't give a crap about me. I didn't know that they were just faking that they liked me. I thought they really liked me until when I moved and nobody showed up to help me. And that's when I was like, oh. So that's why when I reach out to people, they don't answer. They don't just have enough fucking balls to be like, you know, I think you're weird or whatever, you know. They just deny. They just ignore. I get ghosted a lot. Ghosted a lot. That means when you start talking to somebody and you're friends with them and you're all buddy buddy, and then all of a sudden it's just nothing. They just disappear. No nothing. So now we're coming into we're still in Scorpio season, but we're coming in. See, that's how I look at it all as a storyline, you know, and they're all related to feet. Like Aries rules the sun and Pisces is the feet, you know, because it's like, I don't know, it's all her what's that? Spiritual. There was a time that all the doctors had to know about astrology. You know it? That they all knew astrology and stuff, but all that stuff. But then I think that the nefarious started using it for their means and saying, no, that's not real. That's when they started that it's not real, but they kept using it. Oh, this doesn't happen, but then they're doing it. The demonic national convention. Anybody know what's going on in the race? In the human race? The reds and the blues, the blue bloods, the blue lizard bloods, the demonic national convention. Those people are whacked, man. Are they still trying to freaking... Is that freaking crazy old pervy dude still running? Yeah? Yeah? Because that's the storyline that they're trying to put out there. Are people still even looking at mainstream media anymore? How are we supposed to get reports about how the world is? That's kind of, because like I'm in Arizona, about almost to 7,000 feet. I've been doing a lot of research around where we are. We're around Flagstaff, and I was thinking about that. I was looking at maps, the map of Arizona and Flagstaff, and elevation topical maps where you can see elevation and things like that. And I was like, Mom, I always live in the middle of shit. Except Salem. Salem was offset. It wasn't in the middle. But I always felt off in Salem anyway, because Salem is just an extension of Salem, Massachusetts. It's just the West Coast bullshit, witch shit, witchery, Masonic nasty grossness, and Boston and or Salem, Mass is the East Coast version of that. Yeah, and I guess I just really don't care about what anybody does or practices. As long as you don't take a human life, mess with human will in the design. As long as you don't do that, I don't really give a crap about what people do. And you don't hurt people, right? And then people, there's this whole other storyline. It's like, no, that's all you do, because they're literally harvesting our life force energy. And life force energy is just joy. I mean, so think about what a minimalistic way that can be done. I wasn't done with the middle part yet, because I lived in because in Redding it was like the middle of the California. Omaha was like the middle of the United States. Flagstaff is like the middle of freaking Arizona. Okay, that was done with the middle part. Now I forgot what I was talking about, the other part. Or it won't. It don't matter. I could talk about the energy part again, because how everybody is coming in. Oh, I didn't finish that about... Okay, so I look at Libra season is like a season of balance. Is like supposed to be like, okay, have you been more of a dick or more spirit or more ego, you know, so far this year? Because we're getting to gathering your nuts type season, right? And then Scorpio season is rectifying with what you've done, kind of thing. If you've been more an ego, then you're going to get a lot of that that sting back. You're going to get back what you throw out. And then Sagittarius season is more of a kind of a reconciliation of that, of like getting quiet, you know. That's 11, the 11th month, you know. And then 12 is like Capricorn, and then that's the justice. That's when you'll get the justice. It's like you get the karma of it in Scorpio season, but in Capricorn, that's when the justice stuff comes. That's when That's why Christmas and the blessings and all that stuff. But the marketers took advantage of it. But the energy of it is celebrating abundance. And come the 21st of December of this year, I don't know what's supposed to happen on the 21st of December around that time frame this year, but I do know that they've been talking about it for 3 years, different astrologers here and there, and that I do know that last 9 days, this last 9 days of this year, the world is going to be completely different than it was as it has been. It's and the thing of it is all we got to do is sit and wait. You know, all we can do is sit and wait. It's just when these alignments happen, but historically, things have happened. Shit's gone down. Okay? So, I don't know. Like November 3rd, the day of the election, that's when Mercury goes direct, starts going direct. They do this stuff on these dates on purpose. They don't just freaking randomly say, well, okay, we're going to do this. They do this. Everything is deliberate, you know? And that's why I'm trying not to freaking actually get involved with the politics things right now, but I do really enjoy listening to DT speak because he's speaking in so many codes that sometimes if I'm lucky, I can pick up on them, you know, and he's letting people know and stuff like that. And, and people are also rectifying their energy more. It just happens every year. It's just people don't do it enough, so they turn up the celestial powers that be. God turns it up. Says no, you ain't living right yet. So we're just gonna freaking make things more uncomfortable for people until they start living right. You know, that's pretty much how it is. And I'm pretty comfortable today. I was pretty comfortable yesterday. Day before, I'd say we were pretty comfortable. You know? I think the biggest adjustment is the dogs being outside dogs. But they like it. They're happy and not, you know. And we're oh, this was cool. When Mom and I were out back, I've been doing this. I took this sweet picture of her. Let's try this. Okay, her and Sass. But if you look at, and Frida is the horse in the back. That's Frida. She's in the big field today. But if you look in the clouds, if you look up top, that looks like a mallard duck. Okay, looks like a mallard duck up there. Now when I get things like that, what I do is I go over to the Google or whatever search engine you want to do. And I got to turn up the light back up. And I look up the mallard duck spirit animal. And this is what it says. And this is just off Google. The Google. The mallard duck is a prophetic message that it is time to raise vibrations, consciousness, and generational inheritance. It is about letting go of situations and constraints. It's time to soar in your highest potential. Any troubles you may have the power to end sooner rather than later. I wonder if this is true or not, because it was written on April 1st, 2019. Or maybe it's an April Fool's joke, but hey, I was born in April, so the joke's on me. I'm an April Fool. I think this one is my favorite. Maybe I'll post a couple of these on Snapchat. I don't like putting those on social media, though. And it's just such a small, tight-knit community that comes. This one, there's light anomalies over Mom. It looks like she has a halo. It does. Oh, that's Mom has a little halo up there. She's such a pretty lady. See, that's the thing. Because that's why you got to be good to your parents. Given the opportunity, as long as you can. Or that's why I got to be good to my parents. That's why I got to be so good to Mom. Because I have her face. I have your face. So God willing, and the creek don't rise too much, I'll get to be 69. almost. And if I do, I don't want to have to think back about how I did any harm to her, or caused any harm to her, or lived in a way that was less than good for her. I told Mom a story today that I remember, and it was the last time I went to Disneyland. Oddly enough, I was probably, I don't know, 12. We'd gone down there. There was like a family reunion or something, and we went to the second cousins. Had the same Greg Hessick. He's a big banker down in Glendale. Was for years and years. VPs of banks and stuff like that. And so there was like we went down to Disneyland, and then there was like a family reunion, but I got thrown in the pool and was made the brunt of a joke. They always did that stuff to me, and then and then they'd be like, "Don't be ugly, Marge," because they know how mad I'd get, but then if I get mad, I got in trouble, and so, my father pushed me in the pool, and he always did stuff like that for a joke. That's why I know how important it is not to harm other people, to make a joke out of them, and I was like 12, I mean, I had started my period like 4 years younger, so I mean, I was already developed, I was overweight, and I was in a white top with stripes, and it was all, because I was basically in a white t-shirt contest, pretty much, and I just had to act like everything was great, and this is fine, and this just freaking sucked. Anyway, but that's why I gotta be good to my mom. I used to look like my dad, but I don't look as much like him anymore. So, and I healed all that stuff. I don't gotta carry that stuff with me. And I know that I tried to have a relationship and stuff there, and sometimes you just can't have one with people, But if people are willing to have one with you, hopefully you're gonna both want to stay in it at the same time. But the time we went to Disneyland, Grandma when I got tired, when I get hungry, I get blood sugar, and people just always think I'm mad. I could be thinking about how something works, and people are like, "What's wrong with you?" And this was one of those cases, and she was telling me not to be ugly. Well, don't be ugly, don't be ugly. And then a little, 20 minutes later, she was like, "Oh, we're at Disneyland, this is great, all buddy, And she wanted to hold my hand, and I pulled my hand away, because I was just like, you were just freaking, why were you were just being me, and it didn't make sense to me, and I didn't want to hold her hand. So I pulled my hand away, and then a couple minutes later, she fell down, and she wiped out, and she had, bruises on her knees and stuff like that. She didn't break anything. And I took on the responsibility of that. I felt like I was responsible that she fell down. And then and then it occurred to me, there's a time that Oprah fell down on stage. And it was her karma. It didn't have anything to do with me. She didn't fall down because I didn't want her to hold her hand. I didn't want her to hold her hand because she was unkind and then switched on a dime, and I didn't want to deal with that. I was standing in my own power. She fell down probably because she was being ugly, being me. But it's kind of a trip when you go back, because, I mean, that's the thing is, the older you get, the more memories you have, and people kick away the ones that make them feel bad or ignore them and deny them, instead of looking at it like, oh, this is why that happened. Because stuff that happens to us years ago, people still show up in the same, if that same thing happened to them today, they would still act the way they did. I am trying to grow and to do things different and not act like I did before. And I'm trying to articulate my feelings better. I'm still a human. I'm a spirit having a human experience. I'm still a human. I'm never going to do nothing perfect. And even if I think that something is perfect, there's something in me that's going to freaking fuck it up just because it knows that perfect don't exist. And I'm always questioning people that are perfect, to what's wrong with you? You are trying to let everyone know that you are all this and that, and what I want to know is where the shadow is in you. People are just puzzles, and we all got different aspects in them, and it's just people are coming forth in their spirit now. It's really a beautiful thing. It really is. Or they're gonna go more into their ego. You okay? You get some water? Oh, and the more seeing, because we live the ego world. People know what it's like. I live the ego world. I worked at the big companies. Oh yeah, I was IT. I've been IT in some of the biggest companies in the world. I know for a fact. That's why I moved around. I worked in Big Corp USA. I was in the Air Force. I worked for Big Corp USA. I worked at hospitals. I worked at universities. I purposely put myself in these people just so I could study the psychology of the people that put themselves in these places. Yeah, and they're all the same. They're all the same. And they all put porn on their laptops. I can't tell you how much, except for the university. I didn't really have to deal with the porn problem much because I worked at the student service desk. But every time I worked for a place where there was like, and it was always the freaking, it's always the same. They just all do it, and it's just like, it's so arrogant. It's so arrogant. They're so perverse, and they're all Hunter Bidens, dude. They're all Hunter Bidens, and they don't freaking care. And it's just like, if they just got their own laptop, if they just all they had to do is spend $600 and just watch it on your own laptop, right? But they don't do that. They're that arrogant that it's the company and they're gonna it's just, they don't care. People that are so void of spirit literally do not care about human beings. There's storylines that people are coming out that the freaking Vatican is verifying. The Vatican is verifying. How do you like your Pope now? What's happening with the Pope? I haven't heard about the Pope in the few days since that report came out, because they infiltrated the church. All of not people that are worshiping God. People that are worshiping those other 6 demons. I think one of them starts with an M, ends with an Ak, starts with an M, ends with an Ak, and is pinned by 2 daggers to a wall someplace. Jesse Zavoder tells that story. How he's pinned to a wall, one of the demons. And so all these people that were, setting your negative intentions to release the MOC, there were too many of us last night dancing for light and to free all of the people, all the spirits that have been trapped by controllers. And for all those nefarious that did their nasty, that tried to spill blood, I hope it didn't work. I hope every single drop of blood that you tried to spill last night in honor of your own nasty, twisted gain, I hope it all got foiled, because so many of us prayed for positive intentions. I was dancing in the moonlight for God, for only God. And my sacrifice this year is Halloween. That's what I sacrificed this year. I don't do Halloween anymore. I let other people celebrate, and my nieces, they got to dress up and for Halloween and go celebrate in Halloween, and but I'm sacrificing Halloween because I can't do it anymore. But that's okay that other people can, see? Everything is about balance. Everything is about balance. The masculine and feminine energy in each and one of all. That's what's coming. That's what's happened to me. That's how I got all tender and stuff. Is came in, because ever since I started loving Mom, it was like loving me in the future. And that's how I started loving me. And I take better care of myself, because I got to take better care of me. just to hang out with her as long as I can, you know? Because some days, man, I think she's going to outlive me, man. Yeah, some days I do believe that. So, anyway, I'm glad these lives are working. I'm sorry, Mom and I were doing pre-show, and I set the time, and then I lose track of time. Time's all relevant. This is so cool that this is the first time. There's so many firsts I'm experiencing. This is the first time I've never had to do that we've lived in mountain time. You've lived here. See, Mom's grew up in Arizona. She lived here from the time she was adopted 3 years old until you were 18. And then she went out to California, right? Or did you guys move out after that? Or before you were 18? It was after you were 18 they moved out to Ventura. Well, you went to high school in Ventura, though. But did you start high school in Ventura? Okay, my point is, you lived in Arizona before. And Grandpa and Papa even had a grocery store where I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe Bisbee? Bisbee, Arizona. Maybe I'm gonna I got Mom was adopted, so I never really felt like, I don't know, like because we never really around him, so wasn't really connected to, but I wasn't really close to my paternal grandparents either. Yeah. No. They're not really a nice lady to me. I mean, other people, that's the thing, is this is saying being a Heyoka, you see how wonderful everybody is to everyone else, but when they want to be negative to someone, they always find Heyoka. And then we see who they really are. Yeah, it's kind of a trip. It's kind of a trip, so. Oh, it's all life lessons. Capricorn and Gemini, are those opposite? No. Gemini, Capricorn. Wow. Yeah, they fake as funk. Hi, Carl. Glad you're here. Yeah, all my friends dispersed when I quit drinking. Yep, meow. Yep. Asteroid, yeah, maybe. Who knows? Wow, those clouds. Yeah. Anyway. We've been yammering for a while now, huh? 27 minutes? 37 minutes. Ho, hey, ho.